Shaun, hold on.
Shaun, what I'm trying to say is, I need something a little more than spending every night in the Winchester. I want to get out there and do more interesting stuff. I want to live a little. I want you to want to do it too.
At the beginning of the story, Shaun is in a bit of a rut. Life is changing all around him. His girlfriend is, wants a lot more from life. She's a lot more sort of motivated than he is, and Shaun can't really cling to this apathy anymore.
Things will be fine, I promise.
You promised you'd stop smoking when I did. What? You promised you'd go back to the gym. You promised you'd try drinking red wine instead of beer. Well, you promised you'd come on holiday with me.
Well, we went to Greece, didn't we?
We met in Greece. She loves him, but she's gone out with him for a few years. She just wants things to move on. She wants to do different things with him. And he doesn't seem to be capable of doing that, so that's why she splits up with him at the beginning of the film.
Maybe I'll put this on random.
He lives with his best friend, who is the kind of spectre of his apathy in a way, his old mate Ed, who's just a complete waster. But he does reach this stage when he thinks, right, I've really got to sort everything out. I've got to sort out my relationship with my mum. He's going to sort his life out with his girlfriend. He's going to get himself together. It just so happens all that takes place around the full-scale invasion of the living dead.
That you stay in your homes, make no attempt to reach loved ones, and avoid all physical contact with the assailants.
Do you believe everything you hear on TV?
These instructions.
I think the starting point for the film was when we did the episode of Spaced, with the zombie sequence in it, the Resident Evil sequence. We realised around then that we were both massive fans of Dawn of the Dead, and we did sort of both look at each other and think, oh, we should really do something like this.
Well, we never wanted to make the film into a spoof. We didn't want it to be a Mickey take or in any way irreverent. The whole idea was that the horror aspect of it was totally true and faithful to the source material, otherwise it wouldn't have worked. We weren't making a comedy zombie film, we're making a film which is a zombie film and a comedy.
Any zombies out there? Don't say that. What? That. What? That. The Z word. Don't say it. Why not? Because it's ridiculous. All right. Are there any out there, though?
Ed and Shaun's relationship was basically mine and Simon's relationship for years. I would just lay on the couch while he moaned at me for being a lazy bastard. But, all that time that has passed, I now look to it as working towards the role of Ed.
It is kind of based on their relationship in a sense, because Simon and Nick used to share a flat together, and they are like brothers, or have that very much that kind of playful antagonism between each other. But that kind of chemistry between them can only come from people who've lived together.
Purple Rain. No. Sign of the Times. Definitely not. Oh, Dire Straits. Throw it.
They both kind of enjoy it. They both get something out of it in a way, I mean, Shaun doesn't relish it like Ed does. As soon as Ed stoves in the first one's head, he's kind of like, this is great.
Did you see his head go?
But Shaun has this slight hesitation because he's still, even though it's a zombie, he's still bashing someone's head in with a cricket bat. She hasn't done before.
Which one do you want, girl or bloke? The first one.
You got to destroy the brain. Fact, that's the, you can cut the legs off, but the body will still come. You've got to destroy the brain. Weapon-wise, a gun is nice, but you need to reload it eventually. You never have to reload a sword or a sharpened pool cue. Something that gives you what I like to call killing distance.
I love how we call them blunt objects. We don't call them weapons, we just call them blunt objects. I don't know why.
They use anything. Spatulas, spaghetti spoons, egg whisks, anything at hand, really. Umbrellas,
It's all very simple.
hockey sticks, lacrosse rackets, all the things that everybody has at home.
Okay, apologies for the cramped conditions, everybody. Okay, Di, can you stay on David's lap? What? Philip, hang in there, okay? Ed, get there fast, yeah? And, Mum, this is Liz. Liz, Mum.
Hello.
It's a world-class comedy script. There are, 3 gags on every page, and there's blood everywhere. The zombie side of things, I discovered that these young men, this is what they did instead of their O-levels. They watched every movie made by George Romero. These kids are sick.
This is kind of our spin on like action and horror, but with a very suburban, mundane backdrop to it, really. We're so used to in American films to seeing kind of American locations being invaded and stuff. It was kind of fun, rather than also to do the touristy London thing of like filming it in Piccadilly Circus or with red double-deckers, is actually to do kind of like things happening in the suburbs. And so to see the effect of the zombie holocaust on Crouch End and Barnet.
We did want it to be scary. There were moments in it that we kind of cut down on a little bit because it was almost too much.
Now what? We got to keep moving.
There are some really visceral and scary, horrible bits in it, which I think will shock people. I think we want people to go and see this. We want it to be like a date movie. So couples to go and for women to enjoy it as well as men. Horror is generally the domain of your 16 to 35-year-old male, but we kind of wanted to make a film that was a bit more broad.
What's the plan then?
We're going to the Winchester. Don't forget to kill Philip!
What? This is not like anything I've ever seen. You know, there's comedy there, but if you don't like comedy, there's The Undead. If you don't like that, you got Kate Ashfield. Hello. Or, you know, great directing. It's just all there, you know?
How did you lose them?
I just gave him the slip. Wasn't difficult. They're not all that.
It's a lot more like a black comedy about the end of the world, really, and people's responses to something like this. And the central joke of the film is how little changes, you know, in the face of a crisis. And so there's jokes on the kind of the English reserve. It's kind of, even though it's kind of the end of the world and a lot of really violent things happen and a lot of people die, it's kind of probably one of the most laid-back zombie films ever made.
Are they still out there? Yeah. What do you think we should do? Have a sit down?